Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and the movie I want to talk about is actually a movie that I like I said, I got finished with it. I did play the bonus features on here. So the movie I'm going to be talking about is a movie that this is a movie that stars Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, Philip Seymour Hoffman. This movie also has Amy Adams and Ned Beatty, and the movie I'm talking about is 2007's Charlie Wilson's War. The Charlie Wilson's War is a movie that I remember when this came out. Yeah, it's a little white. Yeah, right. I hope the glare doesn't come in. But anyways, Charlie Wilson's War was a movie. This is based on a true story about a man named Charlie Wilson. And his job was to basically sort of end the Iraq-Afghanistan war of the 1980s. So basically getting rid of I want to say he was selling arms. Let me look on the back. Doesn't say anything about it, but basically he gets the CIA. He basically he's a negotiator. Basically, he negotiates to these foreign countries with sort of selling weapons to the Afghans, and I think something like that. So, like I said, the movie set in the 80s. This movie is, I'm going to tell you right now, this movie is a masterpiece. This movie, it's noted because this was written by Aaron Sorkin, who a couple decades later will go on to write 2010's The Social Network. And this is noted to be the final movie from director Mike Nichols. Kind of a weird choice. A lot of people, when they associate Mike Nichols, what do you associate with? The Graduate, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Working Girl, The Birdcage. I could name a bunch of Mike Nichols movies right off the bat. So Mike Nichols this is one of the few the movie that was directed by Mike Nichols that I actually never seen. So yeah, like I said, it's a story about Charlie Wilson, and he meets up with the one woman. I can't think of her character's name, but she played by Julia Roberts and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm going to put this down. So let's talk about Charlie Wilson's War. So basically right off the bat, at the beginning of the movie, it starts out, the movie's set in the 80s. So it starts out, I think the time period that it goes from in this movie is 1980 to 1988. So basically Charlie Wilson, he's a congressman in Texas that he basically meets, well, this woman helps her out. It helps her out, and Julia Roberts plays the woman that Hanks helps out. I can't think of her character's name. It doesn't say anything, but yeah, it's good. And basically, it goes from the years and years that he's selling this. So he meets up with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who becomes his sort of right-hand man. So she suggests him to go to Afghanistan, Cairo, Egypt, a bunch of other places I'm kind of blanking on. So he talks to these people, and he it's a hard movie to explain. You really got to pay attention to this movie. So he goes and meets up with a bunch of them. So he's trying to sell these weapons to the Afghans, the people from Afghanistan, I should say, like that. So he goes and meets up that, and basically he's like a negotiator, but Hoffman is kind of like his go-to man to kind of help him persuade into doing this stuff. So right at the beginning, he's in a hot tub with a bunch of these women, and that's how he sort of, but then he tells the guy to turn up the TV. Dan Rather's talking. Yeah, a lot of the footage in this movie shows news footage of Dan Rather when he got the CBS evening news job. At the time, for those who don't know, Walter Cronkite was retiring from the position, and he gave it to Dan Rather, and he's been that person. He's been the evening news guy for years until Norah O'Donnell, decades later, would get the job as the first woman to co-host the evening news. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yes, I'm going to tell you right now, this has a ton of language, especially the scene I want to talk about, Philip Seymour Hoffman. So, for those who don't know, Tom Hanks literally shows his butt in the movie. So he gets out of a hot tub, he actually his whole butt hang out. It's like, I'm like, I can't believe it! Tom Hanks actually showed his butt in the movie. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I'm laughing so hard. But then again, he gave the dog a bath in a thong in Turner Hooch. So Hanks can do pretty much anything. So yeah, that's kind of funny in a weird kind of way. But anyways, the scene. Another actor in this is John Is it Stanley? I covered a movie called The Adjustment Bureau and Spotlight. He's a really good actor. So Hoffman snaps and he's arguing. He snaps and he's mouthing off at him and said, "You broke my mucking window." He's like, "I don't mucking care about that. Shut the muck up." And he just snaps, and then he breaks the window again just to get the guy mad. Then he leaves him, and then Charlie Wilson gives him the job to be his go-to guy. Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing in that role. It's so sad he just died way too soon, because this guy was right in his prime. He's one of my favorite character actors. Even appeared in an episode of Arthur, which is pretty cool. But he plays that, and then Julie Roberts, like I said, convinces him. It ends really good. It has a very strong ending. At the beginning, it shows right at the beginning he gets the award. Eventually, at the end of the film, without giving it away, they show him get the award again. So, I'm sorry if I spoiled it, but I had to get through that. Wow. Aaron Sorkin, phenomenal job. Mike Nichols, for his last film, he goes out with a bang and just so good. The rest of the cast is good. Amy Adams plays Charlie Wilson's secretary. She's great. She goes along on the journey with him. There's a scene where she's in, I want to say it's Egypt. So there's a scene where Hoffman and Hanks talks to a guy in Cairo, Egypt about selling arms to the guys, and we see a belly dancer just dancing, and then he is questioning, why are you going to give the guns to the Muslims? So that's pretty much that, and it has a good message at the end. And Charlie Wilson, as a political figure, he is a genius. I actually never even heard of this guy. I knew about that story because Charlie Wilson was against the idea of wars in Afghanistan. This movie was also set during the Reagan administration. In fact, there's a scene where John Stanley's character is dressed up as Santa, and you could see a picture of Ronald Reagan. This took place during the year of the Reagan administration, so it goes through each timeline. So we get 1980, 1986, then we get to 1987, 88, 87, then back to 88, and the film ends in 88. But the real Charlie Wilson said that it actually ended in 1989. I thought the movie would have ended right at 1989, but they don't show the year of that. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this movie. It's really good. I was pleasantly shocked because I actually have the soundtrack to this movie, and the score's really good. Who did the score to? Oh, James Newton Howard. His score is really good. Aaron Sorkin, solid writing. This sort of has a precursor to Social Network at times. I felt like that. And it's weird because he wrote The West Wing, which I was not a fan of The West Wing, but I felt like this movie kind of reminded me a little bit of the Tom Cruise movie American Made. American Made had the same thing, but that was more of a guy selling drugs to them. This is about a guy who's trying to negotiate with those foreign countries. So it has that. And I want to say, I forgot what it was similar to, but I don't know. Although, star power. Oscar-worthy performance. Especially Philip Seymour Hoffman steals the movie. He is the best, if not the best character in this entire movie. It's really good. Oh, I forgot. Roberts' character is Jonah Herring. That's who it was. Jonah Herring is Julie Roberts' character. There's a scene where she's at the pool, and I gotta tell you, for Julie Roberts, for her age, she looks great. There's a scene where she comes out of the pool in the bikini, and I'm like, this woman looks good for her age. It's like, wow, she just gorgeous woman. For this, like I said, Julie Roberts is in, I believe she's in her 50s now. She just looks like she's in her 30s. That scene alone, wow. Like, the direction, I was really happy that, it was kind of odd. I was speculating that Mike Nichols directed this movie. I remember because I think my uncle watched this on a pay cable and said, oh, you need to see this. We were going to watch this on pay cable, but we never got around to watching it. This is actually my first time watching this film, and I'm going to keep watching this over and over again. This movie is great. I mean, this cast is good. And interesting enough, Hanks and Julie Roberts would reunite in 2010's Larry Crowne. And that would be directed by Hanks. And yeah, this is the first time they worked together. So I don't really have much to say. I just think this is a great movie. There's times where you really do feel bad for Charlie Wilson. There's time where he's drunk and he's just, whether he's drunk or not, he's going to try to do and stop this. At times he gets so stressed. Like the scene alone, like I said, kind of mid-fruit where Hoffman just snaps at John Stanley's character. I still do not know what his name is. He snaps and just belts it out like he never did. But every movie Philip Seymour Hoffman seems like he does that. Philip Seymour Hoffman, where he'll just snap, snap, snap. What an actor. Gone way too soon. I can tell you right now, this movie is going to have a spot on my 10 best list at the end of the year. So I'm going to tell you this right now. If you like the writing done by, if you like that style. Also, it did remind me a little bit of, I hate to say this, but it had a very Working Girl feel, which was also a Mike Nichols film. Julie Roberts' character almost feels like Melanie Griffin's character in Working Girl. But man, like Mike Nichols, wow, this would be his swan song, his last movie as director, and he goes out with a bang. I don't really have much to say about this movie, like I said before. Like, it has everything of an Aaron Sorkin written film. Solid writing, solid characters, solid acting, everything in it is great. And if you've not seen Charlie Wilson's War, do yourself a favor, go check this movie out. It is so good from start to finish. I loved it. The performances are just great. It's a great time capsule if you want to know history about this man right here, Charlie Wilson. He is just so fascinating. I never even heard about Charlie Wilson until this movie was made. And excuse me, I almost dropped the case. But yeah, go see this movie though. It is phenomenal from start to finish. And by the way, just to let you know, the movie came out, like I said, the movie was 2007. The real Charlie Wilson passed on 2010. So, yeah, this guy lasted long as a Congress in the Texas Congress from, get this, 1973 to 1996. So he was there for a long, long time. And I can recommend this. Do yourself a favor. Do not sleep on Charlie Wilson's War. It is so good, guys. The performances are great. The writing is solid. It is smooth as butter. It's just Aaron Sorkin. I only seen one other film now, Social Network. But he gets the right directors. And even some of his cast said in the featurette that working with Mike Nichols, you always say yes when you work with Mike Nichols. Even Philip Seymour Hoffman said, if Mike Nichols is asking you to take the role, take the role. It's really that good. Like I said before, the weirdest directing choice. This is coming from a guy who made The Graduate, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Working Girl, Birdcage, even Silkwood. I forgot about Silkwood. This movie, I don't want to say that it's a copy of Silkwood, but at times it feels like that Mike Nichols movie that Mike Nichols directed. But I'm going to tell you right now, see this movie. I think I'm harping it on. More of just analyzing instead of really just reviewing the movie. But this is kind of a review, but also kind of a analyzation about this film of how acting is and how writing is. I loved everything. Julia Roberts is, like I said, the whole cast is great. I forgot to mention the one actress in this. Sherry Appleby appears in the movie. She played one of Charlie's Angels. So she's in the movie too. So I thought at first when I was watching, like I said again, I thought Adam Scott was in this, but I guess I was wrong. So yeah. Yeah, so like I said, check out Charlie Wilson's War. It's great. So yeah, let's go ahead and rate this, and it's no surprise that this is still in my 10 best list. I'm going to give Charlie Wilson's War an automatic 5 out of 5. It is phenomenal from start to finish. No flaws. Might have been, but that's just minor. But there's absolutely no flaws. This movie is indeed a masterpiece. Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the whole entire cast is just great. And I can highly, highly recommend you watching Charlie Wilson's War. It is a lot of fun. And I had a great time watching this from start to finish. So, yeah. While it's a rental store, just forget it. Just buy the movie. It's on Blu-ray. It's on DVD. If this was available, if they were still making VHS, get it on VHS. But this movie, like I said, just see whatever it is. And the tagline just says right there, based on an outrageous true story. And outrageous is right. The cinematography is really good. Like, they actually filmed this pretty much on location. Even when they got news footage of Dan Rather, and even he's in the filmmakers would like to thank section. So, I think that's all I'm going to say about it. Just go watch Charlie Wilson's War. It's great. So, that's my review of Charlie Wilson's War. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, I definitely put up videos every Monday and Tuesdays, or sometimes later, depending upon when I get the video uploaded. So, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to get all my video notifications. I'm on Letterboxd, guys. You can check me out there as well. I rate the movie first before I go ahead and review the film. And yeah, it was great. So, yeah. So, go watch Charlie Wilson's War. You will not be disappointed. So, yeah. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.